Every single time you drop a fork or spoon at the table, you're not just being clumsy. You already told the universe someone is coming to your door. Didn't know that? Here are 19 more curses just like it. Number 1. Dropping utensils. Philippines and older American folk tradition. Drop that fork. And folklore says fate already decided who's walking through your door next. A knife or fork dropping means a man is coming. A spoon means a woman. Families have genuinely set an extra plate at the table the second it happens, treating a simple accident like a ticking countdown to a visitor. A visitor either shows up within days or they don't, and that's exactly enough uncertainty to keep the fear alive forever. Number 2, chopsticks upright in rice. From China. In China, sticking your chopsticks upright in a bowl of rice isn't rude. It's a funeral ritual, straight from Taoist belief about ghosts and the dead. When someone dies, families place a bowl of rice with chopsticks standing straight up directly on the grave, an offering so the spirit doesn't go hungry. And if you do this by accident at a normal dinner, you've just told the dead their meal is ready. Chinese grandparents will correct a child within seconds of seeing this happen because the fear isn't bad luck. It's the horror of accidentally inviting a hungry spirit to sit down at your own table. Number 3, spilling salt in ancient Rome and Christian Europe. Salt was once so valuable it funded entire armies. The word salary comes directly from it. Spilling it in ancient Rome was tempting fate itself, and the belief only got darker through Christianity. Da Vinci's Last Supper shows Judas knocking over the salt cellar seconds before he betrays Christ. So, what happens if you spill it and don't react? Tradition says the devil, sitting specifically behind your left shoulder, just walked straight through the door you left open. This curse predates Christianity by centuries, yet fused so completely with it that most people today think it's a Bible story. Number 4, toasting with water. From ancient Greece and the US Navy. In ancient Greece, water was the river of the dead, the river Lethe, where souls forgot their entire lives. Toasting with water was reserved only for honoring corpses, never the living. Centuries later, with zero connection to Greek myth, the US Navy's own mess night manual states outright that toasting someone with water means they will die by drowning. So, what happens if you raise that glass anyway? Naval officers have been corrected mid ceremony over this. It's not folklore to them, it's an active death omen for a career built entirely on the sea. Two civilizations, thousands of years apart, with zero contact, and they landed on the exact same fatal curse. Number 5, chewing gum at night from Turkey. In Turkey, nighttime is when the dead and spirits are believed to walk closest to the living. Chew gum after dark, and folklore says you're gnawing on flesh that once belonged to a corpse. Parents still pull gum out of kids' mouth after sunset, not as a joke, but as a genuine act of protection against pulling spiritual attention toward the house. No one agrees on the exact origin anymore. The fear survived even after the explanation was lost. Number 6, cutting noodles before serving from China and Japan. Both China and Japan treat longevity noodles as sacred at birthdays. Long noodles represent a long life under Taoist belief. Cut them, and folklore says you've cut your own lifespan short. The dish is deliberately made almost impossible to eat cleanly for exactly this reason. Because breaking tradition means breaking your own future. Hong Kong has the highest life expectancy on earth, and locals still half jokingly credit the noodle curse right alongside modern healthcare. Number 7, a hole in a bread loaf from Ireland and Europe. In Ireland and across old European tradition, cutting into a loaf and finding a large air bubble inside wasn't a baking flaw. It was a death omen for someone close to the household. Entire households inspected every single loaf before it left the oven, because sending out a cursed loaf meant spreading that death omen to whoever ate it next. The same bread carries a second curse. Flip it upside down, and you're echoing medieval bakers who marked loaves for executioners, warning customers never to touch them. Number 8. Two egg yolks in one egg. From the Philippines and Norse tradition, crack open a double yolk egg in the Philippines, and folklore says wealth or an upcoming marriage is on its way. Crack the exact same egg in Old Norse belief, and it's a warning that death is coming instead. Fewer than 1 in 1,000 eggs are double yolked, rare enough that either way, it's treated as a genuine sign, not a coincidence. The same biological accident is either the best or worst omen you could receive, depending entirely on which country you're standing in. Number 9. Milk before sugar in tea from the United Kingdom and France. In old British tradition, pouring milk into your tea before the sugar wasn't a small habit. It was believed to delay or completely prevent your future marriage. Etiquette books aimed at young women took this seriously enough to print it as a warning. To all the women who ignored it, in a society where marriage meant financial survival, this small pouring order was treated as a real threat to your entire future. No one has ever explained why milk order controls romantic fate. The rule outlived its own explanation completely. Number 10. Giving a knife as a gift from China and Northern Europe. In China, handing someone a knife as a gift comes from the proverb one slash two parts. The belief that a blade physically severs the bond between you the second it changes hands. It's not just knives either. Scissors carry the exact same curse. Families have refused expensive gifts outright over this. A business partnership, a friendship, even a marriage treated as already cut before it began. Vikings believed the total opposite. Owning no knife at all was the actual bad omen, since it meant you were too poor to defend or feed yourself. Number 11. Sniffing basil from ancient Greece. The ancient Greeks worshipped basil as sacred, naming it after their word for king, and in the same breath, feared that inhaling its scent too closely could summon a literal scorpion to grow inside your skull. The same plant sitting in a temple as an offering could be sitting on your table as a threat to your mind. No other herb in the ancient Mediterranean carries this brutal contradiction, worshipped and feared at the exact same moment for the exact same reason. Number 12. Not crushing an eggshell from Ireland. In 1584, English writer Reginald Scott described witches sailing through the tempestuous seas inside eggshells, cockles, and mussel shells. Ireland responded by smashing every eggshell's base immediately after eating. And when Irish immigrants crossed the Atlantic in the 1800s, they brought the ritual with them as a genuine safety precaution. So, what happens if you leave the shell whole? Folklore says you just handed a witch a boat, and everyone aboard the ship becomes a target for the storm she summons with it. Number 13. Bananas on a boat. From the Caribbean. Trade ships that vanished in the 1700s were sometimes found later, adrift, with bananas still on board, enough to make the fruit maritime law among fishing crews. There's a brutal practical layer too. Bananas release gas that spoils other food fast, and their bunches hide venomous spiders that bite crew members with zero warning. Some modern charter boats have a written enforced no banana policy even today. Not a joke, an actual rule. A superstition with real practical roots. Spoilage. spider bites still get blamed on the supernatural instead of basic food science. Puncturing a whole fish's skin from China. In China, an intact fish served whole represents a safe voyage or a smooth year ahead. Puncture its skin with your chopsticks, and folklore says you've symbolically punctured a ship's hull. An entire generation is taught to flip the fish using the bones underneath instead of stabbing the top, just to avoid triggering the omen. Almost no other superstition on earth actually changes real physical table manners the way this one does, in real time at every single meal. Number 15. Dropping a tortilla from Mexico. In Mexico, dropping a tortilla doesn't just mean bad luck. Folklore says your in laws are already on their way, welcome or not. And if it puffs up on the comal instead, that's a marriage coming. If it never puffs at all, folklore says you're destined to live with your parents forever. So, what happens the moment the dough hits the pan? Your entire kitchen becomes a fortune telling device for the biggest events of your life: marriage, family, independence, decided by how a piece of dough behaves. Three completely different futures, all riding on the same tortilla, depending on exactly how it cooks. Handing someone a hot pepper directly. From the Mediterranean and Italy, hand a friend a chili pepper directly in parts of Italy, and folklore says you've just planted conflict between you. The same bait laced, severing fear as seen with knives. Instead, chilies are strung up and displayed as protective charms. So, what happens if you just hand it over without thinking? Same object treated as a curse in your hand becomes protection the moment it's hung on a string instead. One of the only curses of Earth where the exact same object flips between cursed and protective, based purely on how it's touched. Number 17. Breaking a bottle of fish sauce from Vietnam. In Vietnam, fish sauce sits in nearly every household, and shattering a bottle is believed to invite misfortune straight into the home. Unlike almost every other curse on this list, this one has a single exact fix: eating balut, a fertilized duck egg, right after. No fix means the household stays exposed. This is the most specific cure on the entire list. Zero ambiguity about what has to happen next. Comment which one hit closest to home, or if you've ever heard of any of these before.